First of all, we have been talking about the Theta Wave thing since realistically probably the third episode. I want to say that's when we first started talking about
years ago.
Why? Because the Monroe Institute put my family on that back in they didn't personally put us on it. It was people who were involved with them putting us on them.
Yeah.
Back in 2015 or 2016.
Right.
And then we got involved in it. And I just deduced the significance of the Theta Wave state. Like nobody came out and told me was you need to train your brain to get into a theta. I just have a psychology degree, and I thought about it, and I was like, they're giving us all these binaural beats from the Monroe Institute. I looked into them. I found out that it's supposed to induce theta waves, and we just would talk about it, and we just felt that was significant. And then the data revealed that that's the sauce. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, a lot of the things that we talked about early on was like monks, for instance, that reach those heightened meditative states, and when they do that, it's theta wave, theta wave, theta wave,
right?
And how they train their entire lives to be able to access that instantaneously, and even some of them get to a point where they are constantly in a theta state,
right?
Constantly, all the time, and it's like, okay, if it's about meditation and centering your focus and getting in that theta wave state, and all of these spiritual monks are doing this, and all these gurus are doing this, all of these spiritual leaders, if you want to call them that, are doing this, there's something behind it.
There's something behind it.
There's something significant about it. And then you start to learn about the correlations between theta states and dreaming, theta states and REM sleep. It's we know that the dream realm is significant.
When you dream, you are in theta.
Exactly.
It's non-negotiable.
We know that is significant stuff. So it's it just started popping up all over the place. Theta, 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 theta. It's we would talk about any topic around this metaphysical, mystical stuff, and it always pointed back to theta.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things that I tried of all of this new age metaphysical stuff. Very early on, when we started talking about this, Ryan was like, you got to get into these theta waves, bro.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what the hell? What's that? What's up with it? And he's like, dude, trust me, I go to sleep every night to it. This is what it does. Blah, 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 blah. I tried it, and immediately I noticed a major, major difference in my sleep, my energy, my mood. And then, there are different theta waves that are for different express purposes.
So theta waves is anything beneath 8 hertz and above 4 hertz.
Yeah. And
so you do have to have headphones for this.
You do. Yeah, because most
I think 20 hertz and below is the ear can't differentiate.
Right. If it's played out of a speaker or something, you're not really going to be able to hear it. But essentially, with these sub-level frequencies, they can access, if they vibrate, because essentially how it works is in each ear, the hertz are slightly off, and that causes them to clash and resonate in a very weird way.
And you hear the difference.
Exactly.
Between the two frequencies.
The difference makes that warbly effect, the different, because if you take one of your earplugs out and then do the other one.
It's just static, a static tone. I mean.
And it's just slightly different. It's that slight difference that causes that warble that actually has the effects. It sends pulses through your brain.
That's why they call them binaural beats, because there is a tone in each ear.
Yeah.
Very important to know.
When I first heard binaural beats, I was like, is it going to be
this is whack.
I was like, is it going to be lo-fi or
Yeah. I thought it was the very first moment I heard of it, I was like, whack.
Yeah.
But then the Monroe stuff came around.
And that's, I know it's not theta waves, but around the same time I started doing the solfeggio frequencies, which are other sacred frequencies.
That's different entirely.
It is.
I listen to those every night, non-negotiable.
Same. I have for basically 2 years, ever since you told me about it. And just a couple days ago, we had a new person in our Discord. I believe it was Jess, who she came in and they were saying they had issues with sleep paralysis. And I was, saying, oh, I've had sleep paralysis once a month since I was 12, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was talking with them about it and all this stuff. And then I had this realization, I haven't had sleep paralysis in a while. And I have been trying to figure out why. And I think it's the theta waves and the solfeggio frequencies. because I do not go to sleep without them anymore. And it's very rare that I have sleep paralysis anymore. And if I'm honestly thinking about it, thinking back to the times in the past couple of years it has happened, even though it's rare, it may have been times I wasn't listening to those tones.
Right.
You know?
It is just confirmed, so shout out Jess.
Oh, nice. Shout out Jess.
Shout out Jess. No, that's interesting. Solfeggios are great too, because like those are specific frequencies that you know, we know about cymatics. We know you put sand on a table and you play. If you play this same frequency, if you play 500 hertz 1,000,000 times, it will always make the same shape.
Always.
All of these frequencies have a dialed in archetypal shape. It's like, the way I see it in my mind is like it's invisible. It's in another realm, but we can see like the ghost of it.
When the shadow.
Yeah, with vibrating water or sand or whatever. And like imagine that these frequencies, every frequency ever, has you could say a spiritual or ghost-like, geometric, precise, archetypal shape that exists somewhere in a reality very near to us that we can't touch and we can't, sense physically. What does that do on our consciousness when we play the 9 sacred frequencies that have foundational creation archetypal symbols that supposedly the whole universe is made of?
Right, because it is important to say, that like even science backs up the fact that some of those sacred frequencies are the things that created everything.
It's believed that they're the 9 frequencies that, the
solfeggios
hold the universe together. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, non-negotiable. Listen to them every night.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, with cymatics, it's like you can put a thin layer of water over a speaker and play the same frequency. It'll always make the same shape. It's water, so it's a little more volatile, but we're 70% water.
But you're also doing it to your subconscious mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Those archetypal shapes, I believe, are recognized in the subconscious mind. So not only does it have the physical effects on the water in our body and our cells, but also in the psychic mental layer of the emotional and the astral body, those healing energies and shapes are taking place in those realms simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it's like healing the mind and the body and the spirit, but it's subtle.
Yeah. I mean, there's something super significant to that. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
It's significant. What I'd like to know is talking about one of the things I couldn't quite click with Akira is, how he, Tetsuo kind of like took the left-hand path, but he still reached the evolution of consciousness or reached awakening. Most of the mystic traditions and this esoteric stuff, it talks about the purification of the soul. You have to spiral upwards and vibrate with love and light in order to reach that awakening. But like he was killing people and smashing people with like cars and stuff. And then I've thought maybe it was just like the compassion of Akira.
That's what I was thinking.
Seeing this like broken, hurting soul and like giving him a new start, or I don't know.
I'm going to weigh in here.
Okay.
And I'm going to relate it to Star Wars.
Oh,
okay.
Let's go. Wait, Alex watched Star Wars?
Episode 6, when Luke saves his father. His father, a really, really bad man who's gone around bashing people in the head and other parts of their body, cutting some hands off here and there. And what happened when he realized at the very end that he did not like that lifestyle and wanted to be
he tossed the Emperor into the dumpster.
And he enlightened and joined the Force.
He did.
Bro.
And the most gut-wrenching line in that whole movie is when Luke is like, we got to get out of here. I've got to save you. And Darth Vader says, you already have.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he ascends to be a Force ghost.
He does.
Which means he ascended.
Oh, my God.
But like,
come on
also,
now.
can we just acknowledge that we're really in the age of Aquarius when we got Alex bringing out Star Wars references?
Dude, we've been saying it a lot lately because of like the History Channel and all this great stuff happening, but we're in the best timeline.
Yeah.
We are in the best time.
It's all happening before our eyes.
Yeah, Alex is finally watching Star Wars, and he has yet to watch the prequels, and he is going to wait for us to watch the third one.
All I needed to do was build a lightsaber.
That's all it
Goes
took.
and spends
all
the
it took.
$200 to build the lightsaber. He's like, yep, I'm going to
in.
watch these movies.
I'm in. Yeah. No, I could see that for sure. That's kind of the thing that made most sense to me is like Akira has obviously reached that awakening, that compassion, that love and light. And in that second awakening or whatever, it's almost like second coming of Christ type thing.
Kinda.
It really is. He has like that compassion, and he sees like the potential in Tetsuo.
I didn't
maybe
even think about that symbolism. I didn't even think about it was a second coming.
Oh yeah,
That didn't even transfer in my brain.
Second coming. I
Yeah,
mean, he
it
literally
was.
it happened
It was-
once, and then he came back.
Huh.
He came back.
That's deep, dude.
That movie's crazy.
Yeah.
That movie is crazy. But that's the thing that makes most sense to me is his compassion saved Tetsuo.
That's what I was thinking too. And it's the same for
Oh,
Darth
he
Vader.
paid for his sins.
How?
But what do you mean? He came back to life and exploded all over again.
Oh, Akira.
Akira paid for
Right.
Tetsuo's sins.
Right.
What the?
Well, I mean, I'm also thinking when you said his compassion saved him, it was like Luke's compassion saved Darth Vader.
Exactly.
Like the way I see it is like consciousness, God, the eternal realm of the spirit, the truth, the loving force that like literally creates and binds the universe. I believe that forgiveness is a vibration that is truly unconditional. And like I'm telling you, I have seen things being involved in this crazy life. I've seen people with stage 4 cancer just months away from death come over, or we go to their house. Dad feels sorry for people, especially back then. He would just meet anybody. You know what I mean? It's not like that anymore. He's too busy. But go see people literally like gonna die in a few months, and they see orbs. 10 years later, they're still cancer free. I've seen people.
What's the important thing to note there too? Because what did we say earlier? Anybody can access this.
Right.
So if everybody's vibrating with that like compassion and love, we can save each other.
Right.
Like we can literally.
That's the whole point of all of it.
Like your dad is just so grounded in his belief. It's not even belief anymore.
It's knowing.
It's known.
It's
his knowledge.
He was awakened into this before the rest of us.
Absolutely.
The knowing of the beings. That's really what it is.
The one of the overarching themes of the mystic traditions is like your internal mind can influence the world around you. It
Right.
does influence the world around you already. So all you have to do is know that.
He flat out told me recently, he's like, the way I was like, well, how do you see it going down, Dad? Like we talk about this and the alignment in 2026, this, that, how do you see it going down? Can you picture it in your mind? And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's about my dad is big on manifestation being real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were talking about that yesterday, how things have been manifesting for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's the kind of stuff my dad does. Like what was happening to you in the past month.
It's been almost every day.
Right. It's real. You know what I mean? It's literally as simple as like Nick just got a new house and he was telling me like, man, I really wanted a grill, but I'm like, I shouldn't spend the money on it. Gets there, boom, his brother brings him a free grill.
Yeah, he found it on the side of the road.
It's just stuff like that. Like my dad.
Oh, yeah. And then I was looking, like 2 days ago, I was like, man, I don't have any furniture in this room. I need to go on Amazon and see if I can find a futon. I was looking at this one specific futon. The next morning, Casey says, hey, my boss is moving out of his old place. He's going to bring by some furniture. He brought it over, and it was one of the exact futons I was looking at.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
next day.
That's
It's like, huh?
Rapid manifestation.
Like snap of a finger.
And it's not like that can be controlled or anything, but it's real. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's possible. I don't know. I mean, at this level of knowledge we have, it would be hard to do that on command. But that's the kind of stuff my dad does,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just crazy. Like he was telling me a few months ago, we were having a really deep chat about all this stuff, and he was like, I think that there's going to hit a point where everyone is awakened into this knowing of what these beings are and the reality of God, and we're gonna all get together, probably in prayer. And that doesn't mean, we're all holding hands, kumbaya. It's just the whole world having the knowing and actively seeking a better world. And he believes we're actually going to manifest a better world.
Yeah. I mean, that's, if we are in the best timeline, that's the outcome.
And it's like, there's 2 layers of action happening here. The first layer is its destiny, and it's dictated by ancient prophecy, but also by the stars. Age of Aquarius is coming. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah,
it's literally the stars are turning on this massive 26,000 year cycle that like we have no control whether we shift or not into this age. We could probably only delay it. Like I think it's possible we delayed it in the 1960s. Different conversation. But then the second layer of that is we are not only the observer, but we are also the active participants, and we are meeting the universe and the realm of the spirit halfway with our awakening into the knowledge of the spiritual. And we are also in another layer of dimensional action and operation. We're manifesting it.
Yes, 1,000%.
It's both.
Yes, both are happening simultaneously. I agree.
That's how I see it, and I think like it's only up to us to freaking manifest the better world. So
what we're saying is be like Akira.
Yeah, just compassionate. He was, and that's another thing too. Like visually, and the way he was shown was very compassionate. He was smiling. He was just calm and just like
sweet, innocent little kid.
Like walk with me, you know.
Just like an innocent little heart of a child, you know.
Right.
That sweet, innocent little kid.
Yeah.
Be like Akira.
If you heard this and you haven't watched it, watch the movie.
Watch it now.
It's good.
It's amazing.